Hello everyone, this is ACHAIA Akaya, and this is a 2v2 that was actually sent to me by Alisa, one of the other SC2 Armory members, and he is playing a 2v2 with BrokenRythm, who's actually a very good Protoss player that I had the chance to play with the other day. This guy definitely knows what's going on. But anyways, these guys got a pretty good 2v2 record, and alongside me this game casting this is going to be Alisa himself. Alisa, what's going on, man?
Hey, I'm playing with Broken Rhythm. I think we were playing on the map Decina. Now, this used to be called, well, this was called Decina, but it was recently changed to, I think, Monolith Ridge in Phase 2. Not sure why they wanted to do some name changes. Perhaps they wanted to make it look like they had more maps than they already did. But right now, we do notice that Broken Rhythm is moving out a very, very early probe. Now, I was talking to him over Skype, and he was like, oh, I'm going to scout with my 7th probe. But that just seems way too early, so I was like, might as well just proxy gate. So right now he's going to go 2-gate proxy, and I'm going to go a 9 pool against a Protoss and, no, a Terran and Zerg player. Now, if one of the enemies are Protoss, this wouldn't be as successful, but since Zealots are just so good against Marines and Zerglings, we usually do a 2-gate proxy and 9 pool in a 2v2 map as long as there is no Protoss.
Yeah, absolutely. And just to introduce the other players on the map right now, you are playing against Protein, who is the red Terran on the mid left here. And it looks like he has actually got a barracks and a refinery down already, and he is getting his first supply depot up and running, which kind of surprised that he's putting his supply depot up after his refinery and barracks are already finished. That seems a little bit late to me. But the Zerg player going for a much more economic build, going for 14 extractor and then getting the pool initially, or I'm sorry, immediately after that. So he is going to get Zerglings out a little bit later than usual, which unfortunately for his ally, with that double proxy gateway inside of his base, he is going to have to respond very quickly if he wants to keep his partner alive.
Yeah, and we also do notice that Protein is actually not walling off against Zerg, which is very peculiar, but I've noticed that a lot of Terran, high-level Terran players who want to rush Reaper don't usually wall off, and I think this is because if you do have the barracks in the back with a tech lab building, it'll be obvious that you are rushing Reaper. So they usually like to build their barracks back in their base, and one thing when I'm scouting, I usually scout at 9, and one thing I do is always scout for a refinery when I'm in the Terran's base. But right now I do have 6 Zerglings coming into Protein's base right now. He has 1 Reaper out. And over Skype I was actually talking to Broken Rhythm, and I said, we're really screwed because Reapers are really good against Zealots and Zerglings. But he said that, you know, this Terran player will definitely not be able to micro against 2 players coming on in his mineral line at the same time, and it does look like he is going to start pulling off his SCVs to run away from the Zealots.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, one thing to note is that both of you are going very, very heavy pressure right now with this proxy gate, 2 proxy gates inside this Terran player's base. If you look back at the base of Broken Rhythm, he literally has nothing in it right now. So if the Zerg ally of Protein, Hooblagoo, was able to take down, or if he was able to actually go to Broken Rhythm's base, he would do some serious damage here. But instead, he opts to go help out his ally, which with 3 Zealots already in the mix, those Zerglings are not going to be nearly enough to hold this off effectively. And as you can see, there are already a lot of SCVs going down to the combined Zealot and Zergling fire that you guys are sending at him right now. So it looks like Protein in a very, very early disadvantage as Broken Rhythm continues to stream Zealots into his mineral line.
You can actually see me pinging in. Right now I was talking to him, and what we were planning to do is he was continually going to put pressure onto Red, the Terran player, and this is so that we can make sure Red is out of the game. And right now I'm just going to be defending his base, and as you can see I only leave 3 Zerglings for his 3 Zerglings, but right here we see speed kick in. Now I did build a spine crawler in my base, so he knows that attacking my base won't be the best decision, but right now Broken Rhythm really has nothing, and there is just a huge amount of Zerglings going to his base, so I'm just trying to build Zerglings as much as possible. What I actually opted to do in the beginning was I was gonna initially send my 6 Zerglings to help him, and then I was gonna go a little bit heavier eco so that we can take down the Zerg, as if you have one player building the military and the other player doing the eco, is usually not as risky as both players doing one thing. And right now we do see Hooblagoo taking down that photon cannon, and his Zerglings make quick work of my non-speeded Zerglings. And one thing to note about Zerglings versus Speedlings is that Speedlings actually do more damage than Zerglings if you include the speed factor, because they do make a greater concave when they are fighting.
Yeah, absolutely. Having that extra speed boost allows you to get a much quicker surround on enemy Zerglings, so you definitely get the opportunity to collapse in on the opponent. But BrokenRythm, unfortunately, losing all of his probes, it looks like. Does he have any left on the map at all? No, he only has 8 Zealots, so the 8 Zealots that he has right now will be the only units that he's allowed to control for the rest of the game, and it looks like he actually does have 1 Zealot guarding that proxy still. It got trapped behind the gateways and the pylon that he proxied into Protein's base, and Protein, although he was hit very early, is actually not out of the game yet. That is definitely something worth noting, because while you are still in pretty good shape here, although I do see a couple of idle drones in your base right now, but although you are still in pretty good shape, your ally is completely dead. So basically at this point it seems almost like it's a 2v1, despite the fact that Protein took a lot of damage. He is still alive and well in this game.
Yeah, if you take a look at Hooblagoo's base, he actually put down 4 spine crawlers, and this was very, very crippling to his economy. Because if you remember in the early game, he actually 15 pooled. So right now, compared to my 9 pool, we actually had an even harvester count, which is pretty interesting if you notice how much he decided to compensate against that early pressure. Usually 1 to 2 spine crawlers will be fairly good, but right now if you look, BrokenRythm is actually guarding or camping outside of Hooblagoo's base, so he will not be able to send out any pressure. And if you go pure banelings against zealots, it's really not that economically efficient to actually bust a zealot wall with banelings rather than roaches. But I'm right now massing speedlings, and I'm talking to him over Skype right now, and he actually told me at this point that there are 4 spine crawlers. So I said I'm gonna go scout and see if there's lair tech, because one thing I'm looking for is those mutalisks, and if he doesn't go mutalisk, then I can just nurse the economic advantage. I knew that. Oh crap, if you look at my base right now, actually he actually sent 7 or so banelings into my base right now, and I do have my drones running away, and his baneling micro is not very good. He already lost almost everything but 3 banelings, and right now he did not kill any of my workers, and he lost all his banelings. So very poor baneling micro. That baneling, that set of banelings could actually have won him the game if he had been successful with them.
Yeah, unfortunately, he was not able to track down those drones for him. He did manage to get a pretty good group of Zerglings, but he probably could have killed all those Zerglings that he killed with only 1 Baneling. So the fact that he actually wasted 6 or 7 Banelings on that attack was actually a lot of overkill there, because losing those Zerglings obviously not as big of a hit to you as if you would have lost all of those drones. But he has not expanded yet, obviously, because you still have all those Zealots and Zerglings camping outside of his base. His ally Protein is starting to get back up on his feet now. He's got a base going in the lower left here, starting to get some factories, and he does have a couple barracks going right now, although he needs to get more SCVs into the game, because however many SCVs he has right now, it looks like there's only about 7 of them on his mineral line. Of course, he does have the orbital command, so he can call down mules as well. But with only 7 SCVs in the line,